Many thousands of years ago in ancient Mesopotamia, the high priestess of Inanna, Inanna, sat within the temple of the goddess as chaos and intrigue grew throughout the land. Inanna knew that the coming danger was not only to her people, but to all of humanity. Yet her aspect was calm, her words measured and deliberate. For Inanna had experienced a most fateful dream the night before, and she knew well the question her young attendant would ask.
How did the humans get the maze in Inanna?
Listen, young Utuzus. So you will learn how the Queen of Heaven gave humans the holy maze. Long ago, a terrible storm brought darkness and chaos over the world. Many of our ancestors abandoned hope, for it seemed that the tree of humanity was doomed to extinction. But although the other gods ignored the people's suffering, the Queen of Heaven, Inanna, looked on with love and decided to save humanity. She boldly went to Enki, the god of wisdom in the deep sweet waters. Enki greeted Inanna respectfully, shared the drink of the gods, and then tested her with many challenges. Inanna prevailed against each of Enki's trials, showing herself to be his equal in intelligence. Enki was so enamored with Inanna's beauty and brilliance that he proudly offered to her the holy maze. Inanna accepted the maze graciously, placed them in the boat of heaven, and then set out for the land of the humans. After Inanna left and Enki recovered his sobriety, he realized his boastful mistake and sent demons to stop the boat of heaven. But Inanna called to Ninchenbur, the Queen of the East, for aid, and Ninchenbur valiantly defeated the monsters. Again and again Enki sent demons to stop Inanna, but again and again Ninchenbur came to Inanna's rescue. At last the boat of heaven and the holy maze reached the humans' gates. Inanna freely shared the maze with the people, allowing humans to survive the storm and prosper greatly. Inanna laughed with delight at the people's joy and exultation of her. Enki, too, saw the people rejoicing and was moved to rejoice with them. All was in harmony. But humanity, which Inanna had saved and nurtured, was still young and vulnerable. The vigor and fertility of humanity brought an evil-hearted serpent to nest within its tree. This wicked one offered the privileges of exploitation to those who followed him, and this attracted many among the humans. Once the serpent amassed an army of followers, they ousted Inanna and denigrated her worship. Inanna called out to the other gods for help to rescue the worthy among the humans, but they saw only the humans' dishonor and so would not help them. Inanna spoke to the future, hiding the maze within a song unsung. Having set destiny in motion, Inanna rested in the heavens and awaited the dawn. In time, great heroes heard the call of Inanna and, one by one, they entered her garden to battle the serpent and his followers. When the fifth dawn came at last, the wicked one was slain and the tree of humanity was safe. The people again rejoiced and sang the praises of Inanna, smiling like a mother whose children have grown.
Then why do we still need the maze?
At that very moment, the king of Akkad, Manishtushu, hurriedly brushed by Inanna's guard, Tahunum, at the great door. The king's face was ashen with worry, and he wrung his hands as he spoke.
High Priestess Inanna, we must talk. The beginning of the end is upon us.
Yes, Manishtushu, we will talk. Listen, sweet Utuzus. Inanna's heroes have not yet come. The maize are the holy seeds which must grow in order to bear fruit. If we are not careful to nurture and protect them, all will be lost before Inanna's song is heard. Now go to your mother, Utuzus. I must talk with King Manishtushu.
And Hedwana, what of her? She should leave.
No, my brother. Ninki is loyal to the Queen of Heaven.
Very well. Listen closely, sister. We must flee. They are coming for me, and when they have finished, they will come for you as well.
And I will greet them with courage and pride, Manishtushu, just as you should. Where is the Lion of Suma, brother? The brave king whose mighty war cry strikes fear into his enemies.
The time for bravery is over, sister. All we can do now is save ourselves.
Brother, remember what it means to be king. You must think not only of saving yourself, but saving your people. Be brave, Manishtushu, for their sake.
What worth does bravery have? In the end, how is the brave king any different from the cowardly one? Both end life alone, turning into dirt in their tombs. Forget bravery, sister. Let's flee while we can.
Your life has worth beyond your body and its fate. The people depend on you as their protector. Have you so easily forgotten your duty to your people, brother?
It is the people who have forgotten their duty to us, sister. Where were the people when my son Naram-Sin stalked me in these halls, plotting my downfall? Where are they now, when he musters his forces against us? Let us leave this land in Hedwana, and hasten to our cousins over the mountains.
I will not, brother. I will never break the oaths that I have made to the people and to the temple of Inanna.
And what of your oath to me, your own brother?
Do not ask me to choose, Manishtushu. I am sworn to the goddess. Stand with me against the usurpers.
Tahu Noom's flawless hearing detected another visitor ascending the temple steps. He furtively looked out the porthole of the great door.
High priestess, Naram-Sin approaches. Shall I block his way? Sister, you must come with me now. I cannot wait any longer.
Brother, stay and fight. The temple will aid you.
I must flee. Remember when they come for you that I tried to save you.
Manishtushu.
Goodbye.
King Manishtushu turned to leave and Tahu Noom gestured to the servant's entrance. Manishtushu frowned, but quickly exited through its simple frame. Then, just for a single moment, Hedwana drew her hand over her face and allowed her resolve to briefly soften.
What have I done?
High priestess.
It is futile, Tarhunum. Let Naram-Sin enter.
Tahu Noom drew the great door open and the noble, Naram-Sin, strode into the room, his eyes fixed on Hedwana like a jackal cornering its prey. He was accompanied by his most trusted officer, Galagal, whose eyes darted across the room.
Aunt, have you seen Manishtushu? I have heard he has entered your temple.
Do you mean your father, the king?
He's been here, hasn't he? Let me guess. He pled with you to run away with him. But you were too proud to flee, and yet he was too afraid to stand against me. Inanna, why would you wish to ally with such a coward?
This is the holy temple of Inanna. Only the reverential are allowed to enter. Tell me, Naram-Sin, have you discovered piety in your heart?
Piety? I have no use for any goddess.
Then you already have the answers to your questions. Now, if you will excuse me, I must prepare the offering to Inanna.
You know, Aunt, I have looked into the royal accounts and noticed that your little goddess costs the kingdom dearly. Someday we should speak of changing this temple into something that enriches the kingdom rather than drains it of treasure. Perhaps a brothel or a lending house.
Someday, perhaps, but not today. Now, unless you wish to join the rites, surely something more enriching calls you elsewhere?
Yes, indeed, something does. But I will return. Of that you may be sure, Aunt.
And I will be ready when you return. Of that you may be sure.
Naram-Sin snorted and stared coldly at Inanna. Galagal's eyes locked with Tahunum's, and he paused as if he was going to say something. But, reconsidering, Galagal silently followed through the great door after Naram-Sin. Once Tahunum had ensured that the intruders had fully descended the temple stairs, he nodded to Inanna. At once, the high priestess rose from her chair.
Quick, Ninki. We must prepare immediately.
Yes, High Priestess. Are we leaving?
Not we, but you. I will stay and, with Inanna's blessings, I will fend off my nephew and his ruthless ambitions. But there is something much too precious to risk falling into the hands of Naram-Sin. You must take it to the other world.
The other world of the West? Is the other world real, High Priestess?
Yes, and I need you to take it there, Ninki.
Take what, High Priestess?
The most holy of the holy maze. It reveals the magic of the soil. This is the secret of creating life from death and purity from filth, and came straight from the star of Inanna. I must enter the innermost chamber of the temple to retrieve it. Ninki, you must take the May to the Druidia, for only the Druidia know the way to the other world.
The Druidia? I thought they were only a story.
They are indeed real, and the Mainoan know the route to them. Thus you must go to Crete, and from there to the Druidia. We must hurry. I am going to the chamber to get the tablet. Wait here with Tahunum, and pray for me, Ninki.
Yes, High Priestess.
Inanna traced her fingertips across an engraving of Inanna in the back wall of the room, then pressed carefully in two features of its figure. The sound of expertly carved stone sliding was heard as the stone panel pivoted and revealed a secret door. Inanna disappeared into the pitch-black passage and closed the panel behind her, her path in the dark guided by memory as much as by touch. Ninki waited praying while Tahunum stared. Suddenly Tahunum raised his head, for another visitor appeared. Tahunum gripped the hilt of his sword with one hand as he slid open the slit of the porthole.